guys, welcome to my channel. Today I have a very different makeup look for you than I usually do. Normally you guys know I like to look more gothic, more dramatic, more drag queen inspired, crazy makeup looks, but today we are toning it down just a notch. As you can see, it's still a very glamorous look because every look I do is very glamour oriented, but today we are toning it down with more neutral toned colors and we are dialing the drama back a little bit to do something that's a bit more wearable, a bit more suitable for work environments or just going out in the daytime, something a bit more casual. Let's get into it. So to start, just like I do for every look, we are going to begin with curling the eyelashes. I like to do this before I have primed my eyelids just so I'm not smearing around the product. Next, I'm priming my eyelids using the Urban Decay Original Eyeshadow Primer Potion. Now this step is totally optional. Personally, I like to use just a skin tone colored eyeshadow covered over the entire lid just to create base. Some people find that their primer is enough for them and that's fine, but I personally like to do this just because I find that since I am so pale, you can really see the veins in my eyelids and I don't like how it looks. So I like to cover it with an eyeshadow and then begin my look, because if I do the look itself straight onto the primer, I find I didn't have a good enough canvas to start with, if that makes sense. Now, if you've never seen one of my makeup tutorials before, you might be a little confused at this next step, whereas if you've seen my other videos, you've seen me do it before and you know exactly what I'm doing. But it's time to get out the Scotch tape. What this does, if you are new here and don't know what this trick is or why I do it, basically all you are doing is creating a ruler for you to trace, and that means that the eyeshadow will not go past it, it will stay completely straight, and the eyeliner will be sharp enough to cut someone with, which is what we want. So basically this helps your wing be flawless as well as keeps the eyeshadow all exactly where you want it without it getting like a messy fallout. Sometimes if I'm using like a ton of product and I'm really packing it on, I will find that I do get fallout like underneath the tape. It like goes so far, and in those instances I just peel off the tape and wipe it off with makeup remover. Alright, so today we are going to be using the Morphe Boss Mode palette. Boss Mode or Boss Mood? I forget what it's called. Some Morphe Boss something palette, and I apologize that this is super dirty and gross looking. It's just covered in other makeup products. My makeup station gets a little messy when I'm getting really creative and I'm just going wild. I don't clean up after myself very well. I really like the colors of this palette. I think it's very versatile. I think the colors all go together but are different enough that it's not just boring and repetitive throughout it. There's a very fall, autumny kind of vibe with the colors, especially with the oranges and the greens, the deep reds and blacks. I use it for natural looks. I use it for gothic looks. It's very versatile. There's a lot you can do with it. So I do recommend this palette if you are someone like me who has a lot of different looks that they like to do. You don't just have your one go-to daily look. This one is fun if you like to experiment and like to play around, because there's like really something for everyone in this palette, I think. Now, I did just say that I don't find the colors too similar, which is funny because there are a few in here that I find are very similar. Like this one to that one and this one to that one are like extremely similar. I can barely see a difference, but these two especially, by the way, I'm just showing off my candy cane nails. These two right here are extremely similar. So I'm gonna be dipping into one of these. It doesn't actually matter which one I take, I guess, because they're so similar. I'm just gonna be using some of this like kind of khaki light tanned color, and I'm just gonna start going along the crease of the eye, blending this out. Now I'm taking this darker chocolatey brown here. We are just putting it in the crease towards the outer corner of the eye. See, that's the difference between a look like this, where we are going for more basic, more everyday wear. If I was doing this to look a bit more intense, a bit more dramatic, I would go ahead and add black right there just to really add contrast and to really intensify it and darken it up. But that is really the difference between that kind of glamour look versus one like this today, where we're trying to do something a bit more everyday wear, is that this one, to keep it a bit lighter, I'm not going to be using any black, just the dark brown. So now that we have our creases all blent out like this, I was actually going to take, instead of eyeshadow for the lids, I'm going to be using a highlighter. I like to do this sometimes because it really pops. So we are using this ColourPop Crush on You Super Shock Highlighter palette. This is what this palette looks like. It's just 4 different highlighters. They're very intense, very pigmented. I do really like them. The only thing I find is just personally with my skin tone and how fair I am, I find that this like more bronzy one, while it is beautiful, it doesn't really flatter me when I use it on my face, but that is okay because I have been using it on my eyes instead lately, so I still get a use out of it. It's still pretty. I can still wear it. It's just that I find like the white and the pink look best when I use them on the cheek and nose area and everything, but the gold and especially the bronze colors I think would look much nicer if you're a bit more olive toned. So we are just going to go along the lid here. And the pretty thing about using highlighter as an eyeshadow is it's so metallic and so glowy, so I really do like using them on the eyes. especially since this bronzy tone I can't use on my face. I mean, like I can, but I don't prefer the way that it looks over the others. I think it's too dark for me. So I just like that I have another use for it. Now for eyeliner, I'm going to be using liquid eyeliner, and my eyeliner of choice when it comes to liquid is the Kat Von D tattoo liner. Generally, I do prefer overall just the look and feel of using a gel eyeliner, which for that I would use the Bobbi Brown gel eyeliner. But for today, to look a bit more subtle, I'm not going to use that because that is just so intensely black. And while this is intense as well, it has a different look to it, and I feel like this suits today's look more than that eyeliner does. So I'm not going to be doing a crazy thick line today, or at least I say that, but I might screw it up and do it thick by accident. You know, when it's just like really uneven and you're trying to level it out and you make it way too thick on accident. That's what I do every day. So as you can see, I'm just creating a little wing. I'm not going out super far today. Sometimes I like to just go so far I like go right into my hairline just because I like to look ridiculous. Today we are keeping it short and sweet, to the point. So now that the eyeshadow and eyeliner are both finished, we are going to peel off the Scotch tape, which, to answer the question you're wondering right now, yes, it does hurt a little bit. I'm so used to tattoos and needles and everything that this is nothing by now. I'm used to it. It is a little stingy the first few times you do it. See, because we use the Scotch tape, the lines are just so clean. I could not do this freehand without the tape. It would not be such a straight line, so that is why I use this tool. Although I keep thinking to myself I should probably not do it every single day, because I'm probably, by pulling it off every single day, I'm probably really loosening my skin and it's gonna look really gross when I'm older, but we'll just fix it with Botox, I guess. Now I'm gonna do some mascara. I will be doing false lashes as well, but I like to do mascara before the false lashes just to give them a little platform to sit on, I guess. It makes it fuller, it makes them blend better with the fake ones and the real ones together. That made no sense the way I worded it, but you know what I mean. Look who came to join me. He just came in and completely photobombed. Didn't you, buddy? You guys remember him from my charity video last year, only he was much smaller? This is Eddie. Alright, now for false lashes today, I'm going to be using something a bit more wispy and fluffy and a little bit thinner than I usually do. I like to have a lot of volume typically. I like to do really huge ones. Sometimes I wear ones that are so big that my dad tells me it looks like a dead bird on my face. But today I'm going for like a more wispy, feathery kind of look, depending on whatever your go-to style is. Like whatever your idea of no makeup, light makeup, dramatic makeup, etc. is. Like everyone's definition is a bit different. So for me, I'm saying like, oh, these lashes seem so small because like compared to what I normally wear, these are very much less dramatic. But for other people who like never wear false lashes, these probably look like huge and crazy, but everyone's different. For me, this is like a very natural look. It's a very basic look. So I'm just going to be taking some of this House of Lashes glue from Sephora, and we are just going to do a nice thin, even line across the band here. Then we will let it sit for about a minute. I find 30 seconds, like most people recommend, is not long enough. It is still too wet. I like it to get like nearly dry almost. Like pretty much dry. Then I stick them on, and that's how they really grip and they won't come off all day. I find if you put them on while they're really wet, they just slide around and they lift. Now while I am waiting for the lashes to dry, I'm gonna go ahead and prime my face. Just do some multitasking and get ready for the next step of makeup, which will be to do the face. And for this, I use the Smashbox Photo Finish, the original Photo Finish Smooth and Blur Primer. This is the best one I've ever tried and my personal favorite. Now I'm gonna go ahead and apply these lashes. These are insanely long, and I'm over here saying like, oh, these are a thinner, less dramatic lash than I usually wear, and it's like, these are still pretty big, Molly, calm down. And there's my cat. So you see what I mean about these looking more wispy? They're not like crazy full, huge volume or anything. They are still super long, I'm just noticing now that I've put them on, but I think they look a lot more subtle than what I would normally wear, so for me, this is a natural look. Well, I should stop saying natural look, because this isn't a natural look. I'm not trying to convince anyone that I have no makeup on right now. I'm not trying to deceive or fool anybody right now. Like, I just mean like it's neutral colors. It's not over the top. I think the real difference between what makes something everyday wearable and what makes something more theatrical and dramatic is whether or not like it's a cut crease and glitter and massive eyelashes and thick eyeliner, things like that that really intensify the look, make it more theatrical and dramatic. I just keep using the same words because they really are the best words to describe it. Taking away things like that and just doing a basic smoky eye and using very neutral color scheme and just fluffy lashes, that look is very everyday. It's very easy, go-to, simple makeup look. So I'm gonna stop saying natural makeup look because this is not a natural makeup look. This is a very subtle glamour look, is what it really is. But let's call it like it really is, Molly. Now I am taking a Wet Beauty Blender Pro and the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation, which I'm just noticing there's barely any left in this bottle, so hopefully we can get through this look. This foundation is not super full coverage, it's more of a medium coverage, and it has a nice radiant look to it. It's not too harsh and matte, it's not too paint-like for this look. I mean, when I'm doing crazy stage makeup, I don't mind having a bit of a cakiness. I don't mind it being really packed on. When I'm doing a more everyday look, I like a foundation more like this one. So we do dabbing motions because if you rub it with the brush, you'll get a different texture, and it's not what you want it to look like. You want the dabbed texture because that really presses it into the skin and gives it a natural finish. Whereas if you just start rubbing it, you'll get streaks. Now for concealer, my all-time favorite is the Makeup Forever Full Coverage Concealer. It is extremely pigmented. A little goes a long way with this product, which is my favorite thing about it, and it blends amazingly well. So we are just going to put a little bit of this on the tip of the Beauty Blender and go for the under eyes, just to brighten up my whole look and make me look like I'm actually awake. Now, using the concealer, I am going to go over any more problem areas where I have more redness, more acne, and all that gross stuff. I just go over it with the concealer to help hide it and pretend that it's not there like I like to do with all my problems. Now, to set the foundation and concealer that we just put down, I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier powder in translucent, and I use the loose powder, not the pressed one. I used to prefer pressed powder, but recently I've made the change over to loose. I just think it looks nicer in the end. And I am just taking a face brush, and we are going to really focus on the areas that really need setting, like the under eyes and the spots of the face that get oily, like the forehead and around the nose. So really set that concealer. I like to press the powder instead of rubbing it the same way I do with the Beauty Blender. I have tried using this powder with a Beauty Blender the way I used the Jeffree Star setting powder. I used a Beauty Blender every time, but I found this powder in particular didn't work well with the blender. It works much better with a brush, but I do dabbing motions with the brush. So now it's time to get the spots that get oily throughout the day, like the sides and the nose here. I get oily right in there, so really set that with this powder to mattify. And the forehead. My face doesn't really get oily anymore since it's been so dry, but I still do get a little bit of shine just like right in there in the forehead, so it is important to set it with powder to help your foundation get through the whole day with you. And then I just do a light brushing all over the face just to keep the foundation in place. Now, there's two different ways you can go from here. You can do eye makeup on the bottom of the eye, or you can leave it. This is totally optional and up to you what you want to do with it. If you want to go a little bit more dramatic, you can darken underneath the eyes, or if you like how this looks, you can leave it. But this is where we're at right now. I personally would like to add a little bit of eyeshadow there, just so it doesn't look so naked. But sometimes I do leave it like this, and if that's your personal preference, then just leave it. We're taking that light khaki color from the Morphe palette again. And I just trace along the waterline with a blending brush. For this look, I'm trying to do it very softly and really blend out so it doesn't look harsh. I think that's enough for this look, honestly. I'm trying to keep it more soft, so I think that's enough as is. But now I will do some mascara on the bottom lashes using the Urban Decay Troublemaker Mascara, which I like for the bottom lashes because the brush is slimmer. It doesn't get too clumpy for those bottom lashes. Now we are going to do brows. When I'm doing a super dark, dramatic, gothic look, I like to just use black eyeliner for my lashes because my hair is so black and it looks really bold and really drawn on and gothic. But when I'm doing a more natural look like this, I used to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, but I temporarily ran out of that while I was on a trip, and I just ran to Sephora and tried to buy some, but they didn't have my color left, and so they recommended I try the Ka-Brow by Benefit, which I do really like. I don't like the packaging. I think it's stupid. This thing, it just takes up more space than it needs to, and it's kind of obnoxious. And I don't like the little brush because the handle's so short. Every time I've tried using it, the brows turn out looking horrible. So I find this whole thing is just absolutely pointless, and I'm not a fan of it. So I don't like the packaging, and I find this is a very small pot. It doesn't seem like there's very much in there. So overall, I would say I prefer the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is just what I have as a temporary thing until I might as well use it up until it's finished, and then I will buy more of the Anastasia, however you want to pronounce it. And I'm just taking my Sephora brand angled brush. I like to start towards the end of the brow, like kind of in the middle, and just do the tail first. So then as I'm running out of product, I make my way down to the beginning of the brow. Using less product, that's how I get my fade. Some people like to start with that and gradually darken. That works too, but this is just like what I naturally lean towards doing. Now now it is time for contour, blush, highlight, the rest of the face basically. I take a Smashbox bronzer. It is called Hint of Bronze. Is that what the name of the product is or the color? I don't know. It says Hint of Bronze on the packaging. It was a gift, so I don't know. It's just this very light color. Light to medium, I would say. I personally like it just because I'm so fair. It's not too much. It's not like Cheeto dust or anything. It's nice and subtle, but it is buildable. We're just gonna go in the cheekbones here and blend it down, creating a nice shape. It's the whole point of contour for those of you who don't do it, don't get it, don't know where to start with it, don't know what it does. The whole point is you're basically playing with shadows and light to create an illusion. So by darkening the face around the outsides like this makes the forehead look a bit smaller, a bit more narrow. It adds some definition. And then going down the cheeks like this creates a slimmer face. And I don't even just like contour to like make myself like look slimmer or more angular or anything. Like that's not the only reason I do it. The real thing that I like about it is just how much definition it adds. Like it makes everything look, I find that a face without contour just looks very flat. There's not a whole lot going on, whereas if you add more colors and shapes, it just adds, I don't know, it just like makes it look more artistic. It looks more defined, looks more bold. It just looks nicer to have color in the right spots. The only thing that I really try to contour to change the shape of is my nose because I don't like the shape of it, but I find when I contour it, I don't mind it so much. So I just go down the sides, make it look a little bit slimmer. Now for blush. Blush is something I don't do every day, especially if I'm doing really gothic looks. I don't like to add color like that to my face. I will do contour still just because of the definition, like I said. I really try not to add too much rosiness to my face when I'm trying to look like I'm dead. This is something that I only do when I'm doing a look like this one, and I use this Tarte one called Party with 3 A's in it. Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush. I really like this one because same with the bronzer, it's not too dark, it's not too intense, it's just a nice subtle pop of color. I basically just trace what I did with the bronzer up a little bit higher. Now for highlighter, I'm using my all-time favorite one ever, the ColourPop Super Shock one. This one's almost completely empty, but I have a backup one that I'm ready to start whenever I finish this one. I'm actually amazed by this product. I can't say enough good things about it. I've tried a lot of really expensive highlighters like Becca, Jeffree Star, etc., and this $8 one is honestly better in my opinion. It's a lot more vibrant. It's a lot more shocking. Like this one just has more of a wow factor, and that's what I'm going for. So I personally prefer this one. I really like the color of this one as well. The color I have it in is called Flexitarian, and it's a really pretty one because it's not super silver. It has a bit of a gold hue in it. It just has like a really nice undertone to it. Not too cool, it's not warm, it's just really pretty. So I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills brush and I am just highlighting my cheekbone here. Wow, that turned out really intense. I wasn't quite going for that intense, it just kind of happens. It just happens. Highlighter is honestly probably my favorite part of makeup, my favorite product of the whole face to use. I didn't word that right. It's my favorite product to use. Out of the whole face, of every single product, this is my favorite thing. I love a good highlighter. I love a good glowing, poppin'. There we go, that is some wow factor right there. Now I get that little Tin Man dot up the bridge of the nose as well. Straighten the cheek. Why did I say cheek? This is my chin. I'm tired. I'm gonna keep its bow above the brow bone. So like I said, for any of you who are newer to makeup or maybe just do makeup but you don't understand what the entire purpose of contour is, highlight does the opposite. You are adding light to the spots that you want to pop. So you add it to the cheekbones, the tip of the nose, things that you want to stand out. So like basically like imagine you're painting a portrait of a person, the way you'd add shadows where shadows would hit the face, then you would lighten up the parts the light would be hitting it. So that's basically what you were doing when you were contouring and highlighting. You were just playing with the light, the way that it hits the face. It's basically just like an optical illusion. We are going to finish off with a lip. I honestly don't know what color I should do because I find a look that is this neutral on the eye can look good with any lip color at all. I have crazy colors, especially in Jeffree Star Cosmetics. I have a lot of greens, blues, purples. I have some that are so funky and weird that I've never even worn before, honestly. Like this one. I don't know why I bought this. Jeffree Star Venus Flytrap Neon Green. Like, when am I gonna wear that? But I do have colors for like dark greens and stuff, and I like those, especially for like Christmas or something. I like to do something a bit weird and different, or even like this grayish green. So when I am doing a crazy color like this, like something abnormal looking, I like to do it with a very neutral toned eye just to give the lip, make it the center of attention. Whereas if you do crazy eyes and crazy lips, I do like to do that sometimes, it's fun. I think sometimes that can be too much. Although I don't like to say there's such thing as too much makeup. I just mean I like to pick and choose where I'm drawing people's attention. Whether it is to the eyes or to the lips, I like to kind of just pick one, not always have both going strong. I was thinking of doing like a more neutral tone, like something with a bit more brown to it, but I think I'm gonna go a little bit more pink. We are gonna be using the Sephora brand liquid lipstick. Honestly, I have a huge collection of Jeffree Star lipstick. I have Lime Crime. I have a lot of lipsticks that I love, and I find that the highest quality one I've ever used is honestly Sephora brand, which is really shocking because other products are very hit and miss. Some of them are great, some of them are terrible. So I'm really surprised to find that my all-time favorite lipstick is Sephora collection, because they are a bit cheaper than the higher end stuff. Like this lipstick, how much do they value it? I think they're like $18 in store. Are they 18 or are they a bit less? I think it might be 14, somewhere like that in Canadian dollars. They're not too crazy expensive. I've other lipsticks that are like twice that price. And honestly, these ones last the longest. They're not too drying. They look really nice. So get yourself some Sephora brand lipstick. I have like 30 of them. I'm just gonna be doing this pretty, really pink color today. This looks really feminine and cute. For some reason I didn't do lip liner. I do sometimes, I don't other times. I don't notice much of a difference when I do or don't. And to complete this look, we will be setting with a setting spray. This is an absolute must. I never skip out on this. I'm using the Smashbox Photo Finish setting spray, and I do a pretty generous amount to the full face. There you have it. This is our finished look. This lip color did turn out to be a bit more poppin' than what I was going for. I thought I was gonna do more of like a neutral pinky, just a pretty feminine color, and this just turned out to be like a pretty poppin' baby pink, but I don't hate it. I think it looks really cute with the eyes, and overall the whole look just looks really pretty, really wearable. And I hope you guys liked seeing me doing a tutorial for a look that is more appropriate for work or more appropriate for going out during the daytime, because normally I am a bit more gothic and dramatic. I do more of like a theatrical stage makeup, and I like to tone it down a little bit sometimes and just show you guys some versatility, not sure how you pronounce that. So to just show off different types of looks, different categories, different genres, whatever you want to call it, different types of makeup looks. I like to be all over the map and show you guys all different things. So I hope you guys liked that this was a bit of a change from usual and that this look is more of an everyday look. So thank you for watching, guys. If you liked this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button below. And if you want to see more videos just like this one, hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you don't miss a single one of them. We'll see you next time.